And do feel free to sit up a little higher than ground level if that's helpful for you. We're going to get moving and breathing right away here in tonight's class. So let's bring the hands to the shoulders here and get the elbow moving around in a big circle back and then the other side. And as you do this, alternating, you can get the upper trunk moving a little bit. Let's do these little circles around to the front now. Good, okay, last one there. And then bring it out. From there, we're gonna bring the palms together in the front. Sitting tall, reach it up and breathe in. And then exhale the arms to the sides, all the way down to the ground. Open up the palms, inhale up, and exhale, hands in front. Let's try that again. Reach it up, maybe a little glance up. Exhale, touch the ground, inhale it up again, and breathe it out to the front. And one more round like that. Good, bring the head into a little bow as we bring those hands down. Just take a little stretch into the back of the neck for a moment here. Let's release those arms and take a little roll of the head side to side. Doesn't need to be a certain speed, just kind of go gentle and easy here for yourself. Good, okay, let's roll it back into the center position and lifting up. And we'll put one hand off to the side here with a little bit of a lean over. Take that one arm and travel it up into a side stretch here. And then with this same arm that's reaching, bring it in front and then open it up towards the ceiling, maybe glancing towards it. And then to come out, let's just lift up and then take it over to the other side there. Reach it over, side stretch first, little pause, and then bring that arm in front. Send it back and up, and then we come out. And let's do that again. A little lean, arm over, travel it to the front, reach it back. Good. Back to center. And one more here. And reach. Good. And then back. And let those hands come down. Go into a twist, so one hand across to the opposite knee, other hand walks behind you. Lifting tall through this process. And gentle turning here. One breath in and out. And let's try that on the other side. Sweep it over. Get into that stretch feeling, and then once you're there, take that breath. And let's do that again, one more time each side. And release over. Good, okay. Coming back to front, and we're going to move into our hands and knees position. So let's get shifting here. And right away into some cat-cows. So go ahead and get moving that as you normally would. Usually the inhale is with that spinal arch when the belly comes down. And exhale when you're rounding, draw the belly in. And check in, notice how that back is feeling tonight. Maybe there's certain areas that are feeling a little bit more tight than others. Good, just one more time through those two positions. Great. And then from there, we're going to get into a little bit of a walk forward right away on our hands and step those knees back a touch. We're going to help ourselves down to the ground, nice and easy here, onto the tummies. And once we're here, let's get those hands into position ready for some cobras. And we're just going to take these into little mini cobras to warm it up. So rising up with a breath in here, and then exhaling as you lower. Now as you get going on these, just a couple reminders here. Keep those legs engaged, stretch them back with each lift. Roll those shoulder blades down the back. One more. Good, and then help yourself lifting up here and shifting back into a child's pose from there. So hips settle back towards the heels, maybe the knees part a little. We'll get our upper bodies lowered. I'm going to just crisscross my arms in front for this one. And have a little moment. Connect to the breath. Maybe lengthening it out a little bit here. Okay, let's help ourselves up to the hands and knees position again. From here, I'm going to come into just opening up one arm and reaching it towards the ceiling. So it doesn't matter what side, but we just take that one arm and reach it up. See what you can do about drawing that shoulder back. Give it a stretch. That's it. And then with this arm that's reaching, we're going to now do the thread the needle. So it's going to come down and slide out to that side of the mat, lowering the shoulder, maybe the head down towards the ground if it's comfortable. Good, help yourself back up, and let's switch our sides there. Reach that other arm up as high as it can go. Again, drawing that shoulder back. Give it another breath here. And then travel that arm down and thread it through here to lower. Come on down for 3 breaths. There we go. Let's help ourselves up. And I'm coming all the way up onto my knees here, just for a little moment, taking the hands behind my back. Get a little drawing together of the shoulder blades, pull the front tip of the shoulders back. Maybe the hands can even lift away from the hips a bit. Opening through the front of the chest. Take in another breath here. Great. Okay, now stretch those arms out in front of you. Walk the hands nice and long stretch. The hips are staying above the knees here, and we're dropping the chest down into the space, lowering. And maybe the forehead touches ground, maybe it doesn't. Good, okay, from there we're going to help those hands in a little bit and then get ready for our first downward dog. So wide fingers, tuck those toes under, get a little lift of the knees and the hips up towards the ceiling. Check in those feet are around hip distance apart. Maybe add that alternating heel press here. Wake it up into the backs of the legs, those calf muscles. Great, just a little knee bend. Look forward and let's see if we can take a big step, 1 foot at a time towards the hands. You can have a little knee bend here and then rise up, nice and simple. I just come into standing. There we go. Looks like everyone's coming now. Awesome. All right, so just standing so you can see me. I'm going to go into a wide stance here, so you can adjust on your mat at home so that you've got that mat underneath the feet with a wide stance. Perfect. Now, just get a little estimate here. Check in, maybe those ankles fall underneath the wrists. Let's turn out the left foot, pivot it out, and bend into that left knee. Let's take that back right hand onto the hip here. Now, turn the palm up with the left, and we're going to reach it up. Give it a little stretch, maybe into a bit of a side bend here. And then we're going to travel that arm down. And as we do, straighten out that left leg and just take a little lean, bringing the hand down to the leg. Bend the knee again. Let's inhale, reach it up. And then exhale, float it down. That's it. Great, everybody's got it. So just kind of moving through that pattern at your own pace with the breath. Getting those hips moving here, a little bit of stretch into those legs, that inner thigh area. Let's do one more. Good, okay, bend that knee, help yourself up and bring both feet to point forward. From here, take an inhale, reach the arms up, and then as you exhale, we're gonna sweep the hands to land on the low back and take a little bow forward. And then try that again, inhale it up. And exhale, so sort of halfway down here. Nice flat back as you go. Good, and one more time. Yeah, that's it, good. Come back up, 5-point star here. Turn out that right foot. Get into that knee bend. Just adjust those feet so it feels like a stable base here. That backhand rests on the hip. Turn the palm up again. Inhale, we reach it up. And then exhale, remember we're straightening out this leg as we're leaning down. Good, breathe it in and up. And exhale. Let's do 2 more rounds. There we go, good. Come on up from there. Back to our start position and then down into a forward fold this time. And maybe bend the knees a little bit, just sort of check in, make sure that feels good. Just have a moment to find the breath, a couple rounds. And you can choose to help yourself up slowly from here, or maybe you might like to do what I'm doing, which is just walking those feet in underneath me and then slowly rising up. Yeah, good. Bring those legs together. They were wide for a long time there with that sequencing. Okay, now I'm going to be adjusting on my mat now so that I've got space behind me. So coming to the top of your mat. And let's begin with a little bit of bending here. So feet are approximately hip distance apart. Toes point straight ahead. And as we bend the knees, we sit the hips back and we're going to sweep the arms up overhead. And then as we come out, release your arms back to the sides. Real simple. Let's breathe in as we reach up. And then exhale. So good. Inhale, press those heels down as you bend. And exhale out. Just carrying on with this here. Let's do another 3 times through this bend here. One more. Good. Come on back just to your mountain pose. Maybe bring those palms together in front here. Just take a little moment. Be still. Let's sweep the arms up together. Breathe it in as you reach up, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold with some bent knees. So take it easy. Come on down nice and slow. We want to see if we can get those fingertips to touch. Good. Now let's come into our half lift. Straighten the legs, rise through the chest. Breathe it in as you lift. And then exhale, fold forward, and then step 1 foot back at a time to come into your plank. Good. We'll arrive in our plank together, taking our time. Lower the knees to the ground. Inhale here. And then as we exhale, we're lowering the body slowly to the ground. Elbows point straight back. Tops of the feet flat, legs long, hands in cobra position. Let's inhale, rise up through the chest. Exhale, start to lift the hips, shift back, downward dog. Good, come into your position here for a couple breaths. Lengthen through those arms. Good, a little bend in the knees, look ahead, step the feet one at a time to the hands. Let's do our half lift again. Inhale into that flat back position. Breathe it out, fold, maybe soften those knees. Let's rise up. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way to the ceiling, and then exhale, hands to sides. There we go, great. And let's do that again. Breathe it in, reach. And big full exhale out as we fold down. Inhale, half lift. And breathe out, hands to floor, feet step back for plank. Good. Inhale, knees down. Breathe it out, lower the body to the floor. Breathe in for your cobra lift. And exhale, shift it back to downward dog. And just a reminder, there's lots of downward dog in this class. If your wrists or shoulders need a break, come into child's pose as an alternative. Good, and again, look ahead. Step those feet to the hands. On the inhale, rise to half lift. Exhale, fold and hang. Good, let's come up to our stand. Breathe it in, reach. And exhale, hands down. Good. Let's do one more round, just like that. Inhale up. Exhale, gentle fold down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, hands down, feet back. Touching to the knee level. Inhale. And exhale. Keep those arms close to the sides as you come down. Good. Get ready for cobra. Inhale it up. And exhale, shift it back, downward dog. Good, just get that rib cage moving back towards the thighs here, long through the spine. All right, we're gonna get a little step forward now with the right leg first. So let's take a big step forward and see if you can get that foot close to between the hands, and if not, shuffle it up. Then the back foot's gonna ground, that heel's gonna come down, the foot's turned out a little, and slowly we rise up into our warrior one position. So as we arrive elevated here, our hips and our body point straight ahead. Good. Now from this lunge position, let's take the arms up, reach those hands up towards the ceiling for fingertips, and we're gonna alternate this position with a lean forward, and we'll sweep the arms back out to the side, start to straighten out the front leg, and take a little lean down towards that front leg. That's it. Now bend the knee again, and then inhale and rise up, warrior one. Exhale, fold into that forward bend here. There, that's it, we got it. Let's try that. Couple more here. Up and exhaling down, take your time. And down again, good. Pausing here, we're in this lean forward, hands on this lowered leg. Bend the knee a little bit now and see if you can get those fingertips down to the ground. The back leg is gonna take a little shuffle back and the heel's lifted. That's it. Good, now that we're here, we let the back knee touch to the ground. You might untuck the toes, that's up to you. And see if it feels like you want to just stay right where you are, or some of you might like to come into a lifted position with me, your choice. And your hands could stay down, or you could even reach up as a final option here. Connect to the breath. Good, okay, now as we travel the hands down, bring them to the inside of that front foot, and hopefully it's easy to just kind of pick up that leg and slide it back so that you find your kneeling plank position again. Good. From this position, we inhale at the top. Looking ahead, exhale, slowly lower the body down. Good. Get flat. Inhale into your cobra. And exhale, shift it to downward dog. A little pause here. And we're going to get ready to step that left leg forward now. So look ahead, see what you can do. But big step of that left foot, landing it. Back foot steps in a touch, heel is down, and you slowly rise up. Good. Okay, once we've got that lunge base here, we get those arms reaching. Come into a breath in as you come to the top. And as you exhale, start to straighten out that front leg with that little lean down. Good, that's it. So bend the knee as you rise up again, inhaling. And exhale, straightening the leg with that bow. There we go. So I'm keeping a fairly flat or straight back as I lean forward here. Let's finish up one more time. Coming down into the lean. Take your time with this little bit of a lowering experience here. You might be bending that front knee, getting the fingertips down. Back leg does a little hop. Get a really good lunge or runner's lunge position. And then that knee comes down. Awesome. Remember, you can stay here with the hands down on the floor, or come to a lifted position with the upper body, and maybe the hands up. So as we reach up here, maybe a gentle look up as well, lifted through the chest, open through the front body. There we go, good. As I bring the hands down, they come to the inside of the foot. We can sweep that leg back. Kneeling lunge, inhale. Exhale to lower, nice and slow, lots of control. Good, take that cobra again. And exhale, downward dog again. Remember to take that break in child's pose if you need it. Okay, we're moving on, we're continuing here. We're gonna reach our right leg up for a breath, just one breath. It sweeps up, inhale. Exhale, travel the right knee underneath you and step that right foot forward between the hands. There we go. Okay. This is a transition into warrior two this time. So back foot grounds and turns out. Slowly rise. Bring those arms up. And then reach those arms out to the side, shoulder level there. Let's just all make sure we're here. Adjust those feet if they didn't land perfectly. Great. Okay. Now, let's come out of the knee bend. So that right knee straightens. And as you bend the knee again, we're going to take the left arm up and overhead and the right arm across to the front. That's it. Now I didn't land it on my knee, but you could. Inhale here and exhale into the lean. So it's up to you how much of a lean you take there. Just watch that that knee is tracking in the direction of the foot or the toes as it bends. Okay, now on our last lean over, you can just sort of assess your strength levels. If you're feeling strong, you could try bringing that other arm into that reach, or maybe you bring it down for a little break. That's it, good. No, I'm not going to hold that too long. Bring the elbow down to the knee. Start to turn your body so that we can get the hands to the ground. Good, and then from the lunge, step that foot back and find your plank. Good, now we're going to try to lower down from here. Some of you might want to drop to the knees again. Inhale at the top, exhale, again, slow lower, control. Good, untuck the toes. Your choice of cobra or upward facing dog. So you just come up, or if you're bringing the hips up and the knees up for upward dog, just a little pause here. That's it, just make sure we know what we're doing. And lift the hips, shift it back, downward dog. Let's try that other side. Left leg lifts up on an inhale. Exhale, travel that leg under, step the left foot forward. I'm just going to turn here. Back foot turns out, grounds, and we rise up, warrior two position. There, that's it. Looks like we're good. Okay, so we come out of the knee bend. This is our inhale here. Exhale, bend the knee, sweep that right arm over, left arm in front. Inhale up, exhale. Last one. And as we come over, remember we do have this option if you want to try a little bit harder. Both arms are reaching out. Just taking a little pause here. Good, now this bottom arm comes down. Turn your body, framing that front ankle just for a moment. Step that foot back. This is our plank here. Inhale at the top. Exhale to lower. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Good job, you guys. And we're just going to make it to our standing position from here. So take a look ahead, big steps of the feet to the hands, and just real simple. Come up on an inhale, sweep those arms up, and bring those hands in front, release. Good. Okay, so we're just moving, lots of flow there. Take a little pause, maybe a little sip of water if you need. Yeah, looks good. Okay. Our next move is a balance pose, so you're more than welcome to be closer to a wall at home if you want to have a bit of assist. We're going to keep the legs pretty simple tonight. Coming into a tree pose base. So just choose whichever leg you want to balance on. And then the other leg you could choose to bring the foot to the ankle level so the toes are still down, or up to the calf level. Start with the hands in front. Yes, that's it. Keeping things lifting. Get the eyes steady. If you're joining me with some of this other stuff, we're going to add some options here. I've got the arms reaching. And one other thing you could try tonight is a little bit of side bending. So if you're joining me with this, the idea is to maybe come into a lean to the one side slowly, come up through center, and very slowly over to that other side. And back up. I'd like to try one more time. Maybe you need a little break. I'm just leaning back to center and over again. Great. See if you can come out of this with control. Hands down. Step that foot down. That was a long time to be on that one foot. Good job. Shake it out. Okay. Get set up for that second side. Centered over that one leg, one foot there, other foot to the ankle or calf level. Knee is out, but the hips stay pointing forward here. Good. Once you feel steady, maybe you're adding the arms to an elevated position here with me. Just stay here if it feels best to be still. These side bends are optional. They don't need to be big motions. Slow and steady. Anytime you add movement to your balance, it's going to be harder. You have to really connect to that foot, to your base. There we go. Coming back to center and a release down. There we go. We did it. Excellent. Let's just do that the one time. That was good. Okay, I'm just checking my posture on my mat here, maybe coming back to the top of the mat now. There we go. Let's come into a big step back with our right leg into, we call it crescent lunge. So the heel is lifted on this one. That's it. Let's take the arms up for a moment here. Reach them up, palms face in together. Good. Now, Maybe bring the hands down in front, palms together, and lean forward to that front knee and start to rotate towards that left knee, touching the right elbow down on top of that left knee, revolving the body here. Good, palms are together, hopefully at the center of the chest. Get a sense of lengthening through the spine. That's it. Now, as we come out of this, I want to just get those hands down to the ground, so lowering down, and back to that plank position. Lots of planking in this class. Good. And then from this position, let's pick up that right knee and bring it in, and then extend that leg back. Now, if you need to come to the knee level, no problem. Knee is coming in, legs extending back. Keep the core strong. In and back. And one more time with the in. And then let that knee come down to the ground. And adjust it so it's kind of like the knee's right under the hip. Step that right hand just a little off to the side, the right side of the mat, and start to lean into it. And we're turning our body open to the side here. So the left shoulder, left hip up towards the ceiling. Left arm's going to reach up, and maybe that left leg's going to come off the ground too. Bit of balance. You could stay here or you could join me with some movement. I'm going to lower the left leg to touch down. At the same time, the left arm's going to reach overhead into a stretch, and then I'm going to lift it back up. So if you're not sure, you can just take a look at the screen here. Just kind of moving in and out of this, holding this side balance. Good, just maybe get that through one more here. That's excellent. Okay, foot touches down. Come out of that position. Sit back for a child's pose. Nice and easy for a moment. Maybe give the wrists a little care here. Off of the hands, off the wrists. One more breath, holding. Let's help ourselves up to that downward dog. Shift it back just for a brief pause. Look forward, step those feet to the hands. And coming up on an inhale, rise it up, reach. Good, exhale, hands in front. There we go. Okay, let's go back now with our left leg into that big lunge. So step it back, heel is lifted again. And when you're there and balanced, we can reach it up with the arms again. Gentle looking forward or up with your gaze. Find the breath, another inhale and exhale to hold. Good, and we brought the palms together at the front and we lean forward. This time we're revolving to the right. Left elbow would come down onto the right knee. Good, press into the knee and rise through the chest. See if you get those hands centered. Give this a little hold here. All right, and as we come out of that position, we want to get the hands to the floor. Step back with that front foot, find your plank. This time it's the left leg moving in and out. Left knee comes in and under you, and then we extend the left leg back. Good, you might be getting the breath moving with this. I usually inhale with the leg back, breathe it out with the knee under. Just one more, and we bring that knee to touch down to the floor. Good. Left hand steps over, lean into it, start to open up to the side, reach that right arm up. And from here we experiment with the balance. Maybe that right leg can lift. Remember, you can stay here. If you're joining me, I might inhale and stretch that arm overhead, foot down. Exhale it back up. Inhale. Good. And breathe it out. Good, last one there. Let the leg come down. Let the hand come back to the floor. We did take a little moment to sit it back into the child's pose. Try that again. Good, and we're going to stay low here now. And as we shift forward a little bit, we're going to keep the elbows down on the ground. And this first motion, we're going to simply take the right leg back, and we're going to get that right leg lifting up. Now, let's just take a few lifts here. As you lift the leg, flex through the ankle so the heel leads, and then point through the toe as you lower the leg. Maybe breathing with it as well. See if you can get this motion to be isolated at your hip, which means your core is staying still. Good, and let's all finish with a lift up with the leg and hold that elevated position, and then bend the knee, sending the heel in towards the bum, and point through the toe as you extend it back out. And we'll just do some bending and straightening, holding this, making sure you're not holding the breath. There we go, good. Stretch that leg out one last time. Bring it in for a little rest. Maybe even sit it back into that child's pose if that's helpful for you. There we go, okay. Back to our position. And left leg gets extended back. Good, so when you're ready to join me, again, flexed ankle, lifting up. Point through the toe as you lower. Get that breathing flowing here. Feel the glute muscle activating when you lift. The core stays strong. Now on our next time when we come lifted, we hold the lifted position, we get that knee bend, heel in, stretch it out, pointing. Good, flexing and pointing as you go again. Keep that leg lifted. Good, one more time. Excellent, bring that in, knee touches down. Step the knees back from there and just come onto your front, back to our tummies. Good, okay. Now, as we come lowered down, we're gonna extend our arms to our sides. And this is the one where we wanna lift just using the back muscles, not the arms. So our upper body rises, both legs lift. Maybe those arms come up with you. Get a sense that the tops of the shoulders move down away from the ears. Really stretch those legs. Use those back muscles. Giving this a little bit of a hold here. Stay with the breath. One more if you can hold with me. There we go. Let's release. Hands underneath you. As you help yourself back, your choice, either a child's pose or a downward dog. Good, so wherever you're at, we just come so that we've got it back to kneeling and elbows down again. We'll meet up there. Good, now this is our elbow lowered plank. I usually clasp my hands. Core is engaged, feeling that bracing feeling through the core. Step back one leg at a time, and you can check. You can see, am I going to be going from the toes tonight, or do I need to bring those knees down to the ground? Once you're here, we're going to simply just bring the hips up a little higher, sort of like a little piking up. You push through the toes a bit, and then you come back to level. And we're just going to move up and down like that. You kind of move the head down between the arms a bit as you do that little piking of the hips. So we're really getting the core involved here. Definitely working through the chest and shoulders as well. See if you can do a couple more. There we go, good, we did it. I think I'm just gonna let those knees come down, and personally I'm gonna walk them in so that I can come out of that forward lean now. Good, okay, how about we come to a sitting position? Take a little, switch it up. Okay, we're gonna get the back body worked here a little bit. So I'm gonna be reaching behind me, and usually when we do this one, the fingertips point forward, but remember you can cheat a little and have the fingertips turn out a bit here. Now we're gonna try, first of all, extending so both legs are straight, and we're gonna see if we can lift our hips up from here. So it actually feels like you drive the heels down into the ground, and then we lift the hips. So you can just come a little lift, or maybe get a little bit higher. The ultimate goal would be to get like a nice straight line, sort of like this is a reverse plank. So like our front plank, everything's straight. Coming for a little lift here. And then we're gonna let the hips come back to the ground, bum down. Bend the left leg, foot down on the ground. Make sure it's not in too deep. And then see if you can come back up so that it's just the one leg that's outstretched, the other knee's bent. Now, definitely feel free to stay here. I'm actually going to try to lift that extended leg. So I'm putting all the weight down into my left foot and then reaching that other leg up and then down. And seeing if I can stay with that for a couple lifts here. That's it. Okay, we won't do too many. Good. Maybe both legs bent for a moment. Come off the hands, take a little break. Just circle those wrists around. There's definitely a lot of pressure there. This class in general, all that planking. Tons of wrist weight bearing. Okay, let's just try that on the other side. One more little round of that. So this time the right knee's bent, foot down, left leg out. And remember, this is just a perfect little spot to lift and hold. You don't have to get that leg up and down. But if you're joining me, put the weight into the right foot and see if the left leg can do some lifting. I'm not really in a flat tabletop here. One more. There, we did it. Good. And we release. Ah, good. Okay, I'm going to roll it onto my back. I'm going to get off my hands. Let's come down together. Take a little moment as you arrive here. No hurry. Okay, we are moving into a couple more core ones. And this first one, we're going to see if we can get those legs upstretched above us here. Now, whenever I come into this position, I always say, don't worry if those knees are a little bit bent. It's no problem at all. Chin in. We're going to take the hands, clasped index fingers, pointing up, and we're going to reach those arms overhead. Now, from here, if we lower the left leg down, good, we would lift up the upper body and then sweep those arms to the right side of that right leg there. And then I would come down, and as I do, I'd bring that left leg back up, upper body lowered. And then the right leg lowers and lift to the left. Good. Inhale when you come here with the legs up. Exhale as that leg lowers down and you curl over. Inhale up. Good. So if yours isn't looking exactly like mine, no problem. You might maybe just do the legs only, for instance. See how you're feeling here. Let's just do it one more time each side. That's it. Now when you're done with that, let those knees bend, maybe hug them in a little closer to you for a moment, and then set the feet back down. And I think we'd maybe benefit from a little bridge right now. So as those feet arrive on the floor, space them out hip distance apart, arms at your sides. Keep this light, just a little lift of the hips. Come up to where it feels good. Take a little moment to hold. Good, let the hips come down. And we're gonna come back to knees towards the chest. Just make sure that low back feels grounded well here. And you can do this one without the upper body, and just leaving it flat. Maybe if you just had your hands behind your head, for instance. Or for myself, I'm gonna come into like a little curl up position with your arms reaching to the sides. So if that bugs your neck or something, lower it down. Drawing the belly in and down with the core tight. We're just gonna simply alternate a leg extension here. Staying lifted, if you're with me here. Make sure you're not holding the breath. Good, one more time out. Good, both knees in, let the upper body rest. Good, I'm gonna purposely place my hands now behind my head with those elbows wide. Just one last little thing to try here with me. Both legs up again to wherever they go. Draw the tummy in and down. See if you can get that low back feeling like it's grounding or drawing towards the ground, and keep it that way as you start to lower both legs out at an angle. We're not going to worry about going really low to the ground. Good, and then bend the knees and bring it in. Extend the legs up and a lower. So you get to decide how much of a lowering you do here. If your low back pops up into an arch, usually that's a sign the core didn't hold, probably stopping there. Just move through this slowly with control. Strong awareness of how you're holding that core. Maybe one more round. There we go. Good. Let's lower those feet to the floor now. There, we did it. Wide feet now to the edges of the mat. Let's do some of those swaying windshield wipers. Knees rolling side to side. Let things kind of chill out now. Let's hold our windshield wipers so both knees roll over to the left, right knee's dropping down to the center, and then the right arm reaches up and overhead. Hang out here, let's just stay for another couple breaths. There, okay, let's try that on the other side. To the right with the knees, left knee down. And left arm reach. There we go. Come back to center. Walk those feet in. Let's take that right foot and cross it over the left knee. For a moment, just work on pressing that right knee out a little bit. Good, now as this knee just kind of comes into more of a relaxed position, or a hip I should say, we're now going to bring it in closer, so lift up with that support leg, drawing that right leg in closer to the body. And you can hold that top leg or reach through to the back of the left thigh. Starting to get that breath feeling a little bit longer and smoother, letting things settle a bit more now. Good, okay, now we're gonna let this leg come back down to the floor so the foot touches down and keep it where it is. We're gonna now travel it over into a twist. So we're moving both legs over to the left, traveling that right foot to the floor. And if that feels awkward for you, you can kind of get it from underneath the knee and put it on top, or keep it there. And I usually help draw that right knee over and down a little bit more, using that left hand there to assist. Maybe take that right arm out to the side. But do feel free to adjust a little bit here if anything doesn't feel good through the hip or the low back. Good, okay, let's come back through center position here. Make sure your spine feels lengthened on the ground. Cross that left leg over the right knee. Press that left knee out a little bit here. You might even use your hands a bit. Good, let it release and then bring the legs in towards the chest. Just resting here. Couple more nice, long, smooth breaths. Okay, foot touches back down to the ground and get ready to travel both legs rocking over to the right. Left foot maybe lands down or unhook it from the knee if you prefer. And reach that left arm off to the side. Great, okay, let's come out of that, just returning onto your back. And from there, let's take both knees out to the sides for a few moments here. If something about this doesn't feel good, you can switch it or maybe put something under the knees. And let's really focus on relaxing through the core muscles right now. So send that signal to let those muscles in the front and the abdomen, around the rib cage, soften, release. Maybe you can feel that little bit of rising and falling with the breath through that front body. Good, okay. Bring it so that those knees are coming together. Stretch both legs out onto the ground. Nice long stretch. Both arms overhead. Give it a lengthening out feeling here on your mat. As you do this, maybe bring in the breath a little bit deeper, fuller. Okay, let that come out. Soften here for just a little moment. Just a little check-in briefly here. Notice how you're feeling. Coming to the end of this class. Good, okay, now I'd like to bring us up to sitting just to finish with a couple quick neck shoulder stretches. So help yourself up when you're ready there, no hurry. Sit any which way you like. You could even be kneeling or up high on something. Good. All right, and first of all, just lean the head over to one side there. Opposite shoulder's really dropping down. Good, take it up and over to that other side now. Good, as we bring it back up, we're gonna now place, well, if everybody's on the same side, we have that right hand down on the ground, and you're gonna lean your head over to the right, to the left, and then roll that chin down to the front a little bit. So it's away from that extended arm. And for some of you, you might even switch this arm to just touching down, to sort of crossing over behind the low back there. That's your choice of which one feels better. Keep that shoulder lowering. Good. Okay, let's come up. Let's switch that over. Arm stretches out, head's leaning. Again, we turn the head to it's a little bit more of a forward angle down. And remember, there's that option of the hand behind the back. Great, okay, bring that up. Let's just wrap those arms across the chest, reach to the back of the shoulders, like a little hug position, and then lean forward here. Open up across that upper back, shoulder blades parting, rounded back here, let it stretch. Great, come on up. Roll the shoulders back and down. Let's take one breath together. Bring it into an inhale, reach it up. Palms together, down in front. Great, thank you so much. We'll call that our class tonight. Namaste.